Have you ever promised yourself, this time I'll change, only to fall back into the same bad habit again? Maybe it's scrolling too late at night. Maybe it's skipping meals. Or maybe it's doubting yourself over and over. We all have habits that feel impossible to break. But here's the truth. Your habits don't define you. They can be rewritten, reshaped, and replaced. And today I'm going to share how to break bad habits that quietly harm your mental health so you can take back your energy, your peace, and your life. Step 1. Awareness. Most of us live on autopilot. We wake up, reach for our phones without thinking, drink that extra cup of coffee, or stay up late scrolling, all without ever stopping to ask why. And that's the tricky thing about habits. They become invisible, stitched into the fabric of our day. You cannot break what you cannot see. Awareness is the first and most powerful step. It's like switching on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you notice the patterns that have been running your life. Maybe you realize every time you're stressed, you snack unconsciously. Or that when you feel lonely, you scroll endlessly. By catching yourself in the moment, you take back control from the habit that once felt automatic. It doesn't mean you'll stop it right away, but awareness gives you choice. And choice is where change begins. Imagine writing down every time your habit shows up for 1 week. You'd start to see connections you never noticed, triggers you always ignored. Thus, awareness is not judgment. It's curiosity. It's looking at yourself with honesty and saying, this is what I do and this is why I do it. And from that place of truth, real transformation finally becomes possible. Step 2, understand the trigger. Every habit, whether good or bad, has a trigger. It's the spark that lights the fire. Maybe it's stress after a long day that makes you reach for junk food. Maybe it's boredom that pushes you to scroll endlessly on your phone. Or maybe it's the ping of a notification that pulls you back into a loop of distraction. The habit itself isn't random. It's your brain's way of responding to something deeper. When you begin to recognize those triggers, you gain the power to break the chain. Instead of moving automatically from trigger to habit, you create space for choice. Imagine pausing for just a moment. I'm not actually hungry, I'm just stressed. Or, I don't need to check my phone right now, I just feel bored. That simple awareness turns reaction into intention. The key isn't to eliminate triggers completely. Life will always bring stress, boredom, and loneliness, but to understand them so clearly that they no longer control you. Think of it as learning the language of your own mind. When you understand what sets your habits in motion, you no longer have to be a passenger. You can take the wheel and gently guide yourself toward healthier responses. Step 3, replace, don't erase. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't like empty spaces. When you try to erase this habit by sheer willpower, you often leave a gap, and that gap pulls you right back into the old pattern. That's why so many people quit for a few days, only to relapse even harder. The secret isn't to erase, it's to replace. Imagine this. Instead of staying up late scrolling through your phone, you replace that time with journaling or eating. Instead of criticizing yourself every time you make a mistake, you replace those harsh words with a simple affirmation. I am learning, I am growing. Replacement gives your brain a new pathway to follow, a healthier alternative that still satisfies the need behind the habit. You don't stop craving comfort, but you learn to find it in ways that heal rather than harm. Think of it like rewiring a circuit. The current has to flow somewhere, so guide it into a channel that builds you up instead of breaking you down. And with every replacement, you're not just breaking a habit, you're creating a new identity. One that proves to yourself day by day that you are capable of growth and worthy of peace. Step 4, start small, stay consistent. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to change is going too big, too fast. They want to overhaul their entire life overnight. Wake up at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, meditate, quit sugar, and read a book all in the same week. But the truth is, real change doesn't happen through massive leaps. It happens through small, consistent steps. Think about building a muscle. You don't lift the heaviest weight on the first day you start light, but you show up again and again until strength grows naturally. Habits work the same way. Want better sleep? Start by going to bed just 15 minutes earlier. Want to stop scrolling endlessly? Begin with 5 minutes of stillness before reaching for your phone. These tiny wins may seem insignificant, but stacked together, they become unstoppable momentum. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Anyone can change for a day, but lasting transformation comes from the small choices you make every single day. So don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Just aim to be consistent. Because over time, small becomes strong, and strong becomes second nature. That's how true change lasts. Not in a burst of effort, but in the quiet rhythm of persistence. Step 5, self-compassion. Breaking bad habits is never a straight line. You'll have good days where you feel unstoppable, and you'll have nights where you slip right back into the old pattern. And in those moments, the voice in your head might say, "See, you'll never change." But here's the truth. Relapse doesn't mean failure. It means you're human. Every habit is built over years of repetition. So of course it takes time and patience to undo. The secret isn't perfection, it's compassion. Imagine if your best friend stumbled. Would you yell at them, or would you encourage them to try again? That's exactly how you should treat yourself. Self-compassion turns shame into strength and mistakes into lessons. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" ask, "What can I learn?" Every slip is not the end of your journey, it's part of the process. And when you show kindness to yourself, you make it easier to stand back up, to try again, and to keep moving forward. Because breaking habits isn't just about discipline, it's about healing. And healing requires patience, grace, and love. Especially the love you give yourself. Your bad habits may feel heavy, like chains you've carried for years, but they are not unbreakable. Step by step, choice by choice, you can free yourself. It doesn't start with massive change overnight. It starts with small actions repeated with intention. First, notice the habit, then understand what triggers it. Replace what drains you with something that heals you. Commit to small, steady steps. And above all, be kind to yourself when you stumble. Because mental health isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built in the quiet, everyday choices you make. Imagine the life you could create if you no longer carried the weight of habits that no longer serve you. Imagine waking up lighter, calmer, stronger, not because you became perfect, but because you chose persistence over pressure and compassion over criticism. So let me ask you, which bad habit will you choose to break today? If this video gave you hope, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, not just to support this channel, but as a promise to yourself that your mind deserves care, love, and protection. Remember, you are not your bad habits. You are stronger, wiser, and worthy of peace.